Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Play the Journeyman Project 2 Buried in Time. Alright, well that first part is probably closer to like an hour and 40. I know, I really did think about like, should I break this up? But imagine that, if the first hour and 40 minutes was mostly just all the text and the videos and everything like that. Not that it's not interesting, but I don't know. It ended up being longer than I thought, but whatever. It's what's done is done. Let's actually get into the real meat of the game now, because for the most part, we can actually start kind of just like plowing through the different time zones. And real quick, let's take a look at Arthur here. I didn't read this the last time. Biochip AI, Arthur. I've usually got something to say, so press the comment button if you want to hear it. The help button is in case you get hopelessly stuck. You can use either button more than once in any situation, but thinking too hard overloads my neurocircuitry, so use the help button only as the last resort. Meaning he'll only help you so far, but usually the last one you do gives like a real big hint as to like do this for the most part. But anyways, I think that's all we needed to see from that. So for now, let's go ahead and recall back home.
Oh, like the look. Early terrarium.
Now this is why I wanted to wait for exploring the house, because now that we have Arthur, we can hear his commentary about the things that are around in this house as well. If I did it earlier, we'd have to do everything twice. So, and again, I'm just going to let Arthur do the talking for a lot of this. Now, in preparation for this, I did not listen to most of his commentary because I wanted to kind of be fresh for me, otherwise I'd get tired of hearing it over and over again. So, some of this might surprise me because I won't fully remember everything that he says, but lots of it can be like just little jokes and quips. Other parts will actually be things about history or things that we're looking at. Sometimes it's just flavor text. Sometimes it can give you a little bit of an insight and maybe actually help you solving something.
Gage, one word. Curtains.
See, that one's just a joke. He's just, we need curtains. Yeah, curtains for this.
These are wonderful toys. And when are you getting the dream continuum? I don't mean to suggest you have an ego problem, but you have an action figure of yourself.
Look, I'm the hero. I've saved the world multiple times. I deserve my own action figure.
You beat those things? Gage, that isn't a threat. That's $1 million toy line.
I love these little figurines. Not only does it make sense for Gage to kind of have them, because it's like this action figure set. There was a movie made called the Journeyman Project and all that. They get to put in those little lines, and it's just such a nice tie-in to the first game.
He's tired of being abused by Wookiees. Charles Bronson is C-3PO in Death Droid.
Out of my way, human, or die. Funny enough, he doesn't have a comment for this one. 5 minutes until you... until you what? It just... I don't know. Alright, let's look around the other parts of the apartment here. I will not be obsessed of looking at every angle of every object of every single thing from every direction, but we'll try to like hit all the actual like things to look at the very least. We got some fruit. I assume it's real fruit, could be wax fruit, no idea. Either way, we can't actually take it. There's a lot of stuff in the game, obviously, that's just for atmosphere and looks, nothing actually relevant, but you don't know your first time playing, so you kind of want to check everything anyways. And then you find fun stuff like this. Whoa, there's a flash, I think, of the, yeah, that's, I don't know why that's freaking out. That's a flash of the table over there.
Kinda defeats the purpose of ping pong, doesn't it?
I don't think this is quite ping pong, Arthur. We can actually circle around here. Now I'm wondering, is this view an actual view, or is this environ like stuff and these mountains aren't actually here? Because if this is an actual view, man, Gage has got a pretty sweet place. That's a great view. Got some oven mitts. Microwave. At least I assume the equivalent of a microwave. It looks kind of weird though. Caution, hot. Not everything will be interactable, but there are lots of little fun things to find. And again, I don't fully remember where everything is, so you will see me doing some hunting. I'm aware of certain things, like these birds, though.
Has that bird thing ever fooled anyone?
I never had these, but I always thought they were kind of interesting looking.
Did you win that by flicking the dime in the dish?
Flicking the what? Dime in the dish. I'm supposed to be flicking the bean. Now this brings us back here. Now, I did say we are going to have to go back to the lab. Because we have to go back to the lab, this is why I needed a second cheese girl. You need at least 2 to complete the game. On that note, Arthur is required, and you'll see why later. He is required to get. Now, you don't have to click the comment button and all that, but he is required to complete the game, so you will need at least 2 cheese girls. Again, for now, we'll leave the Gino Andrews single in there. We'll come back to that later. Don't you worry. Now, I skipped over this intentionally, because there's some good information here, but Arthur will have some commentary, so I wanted to hold on it.
Gage, please tell me these books came with the apartment.
What? What's wrong with these books? You got The Joy of Replicating, Sentinel something. It's hard to read. Timescape. I can't read what this is. Ancient Civilizations, I think. It's trust me, if it's hard to read on your screen, it's just as hard to read it on mine. The Time Machine, by Wells. So I guess these are probably all actual real books and based on whatever.
So what do you consider light reading? The toaster manual?
Who reads the manual?
Antique books for display purposes only. Please do not touch.
Ah, I see. You have books and none of them can be read. Gets me in the mood for some of that non-drinkable water.
Oh, I'm glad I waited on exploring these things, because even I don't remember that stuff. That's cool. That's kind of like almost like breaking the fourth wall. It's like, look, we put these here, but you can't actually interact with them. Envision. That looks like it's based off of a real thing, but no commentary there.
Hey, Gage, got the time?
Why, yes, it is 3 o'clock. It's also time to duel.
All work and no play makes Gage a temporal neurotic.
I don't think that's how the phrase goes, but close enough.
Nice. The Tex Avery alarm clock.
Oh, man, Tex Avery. Can't really see that well, but it's something. Can we zoom it over here? Alright, it says 12 o'clock. Which one's the right time?
Like sands through the hourglass, so are the days of our lives.
Man, oh, my mom watched soap operas all the time back then. Still watches them. And yes, I watched along some of it too just because it was up. Man, let me tell you about Sammy and Brady, okay? That's all I ever heard over on there. I know she's not on the show anymore, but you know. Oh, for some reason that backed off. Should have zoomed in on it. Now we could have read these earlier, but again, that first part was already so long that I wanted to hold off on until we got to here. So, personal mission log transcription, Gage Blackwood, ID that. 7:28, 23:29, 4:26 p.m. For the past few jumps, I've been experiencing a vague, dizzy sort of feeling when I time travel. It's almost like something hovering just beyond the reach of my consciousness, like a word on the tip of my tongue. then the feeling goes away as soon as I get to where I'm going. I've never heard of anyone experiencing this before, so I'm afraid that I might be developing some new kind of time travel disease, or maybe a sensitivity to it. Not that I'm surprised. No one's ever proven that time travel is entirely safe. We're the guinea pigs. Well, whatever it is, I can only hope that it doesn't get any worse. If it does, I'll have to let Kallman know. He is the doctor. Log 8:15, 23:29, 9:47 a.m. I don't understand it. The coordinates of the station were supposed to be accurate to within a millimeter, but somehow I just ended up floating in space where the station had been for an hour, or where the station had been about an hour earlier. Unless the location and velocity data were wrong, I don't know how it could have been so badly miscalculated. They said they took everything into account, down to the most negligible effects on its velocity by any bodies within 1,000 light years of it. I could see the station drifting out there, but I couldn't get to it. The suit doesn't have any kind of thrusters. TSA protocol says to scrap a mission if something unpredictable happens, but this is obviously just an error in calculation. I think I'm going to go ahead and try to find a way to get to the station, but if I go into the TSA looking for a thruster, someone might wonder what's up, so it looks like I'll have to get creative. 8:15, 23:29, 11:14 a.m. I came up with a pretty cheesy idea for propelling myself to the space station. I can't believe it actually worked. Not that it matters. Even after getting in, I've kept running into barriers. No oxygen, no gravity, jammed doors, and here's the kicker. I heard a voice. There shouldn't have been anyone there. Whoever it was saw me and told me to get off the station. Actually, I'm not sure he saw me so much as detected my presence. But still, I had no choice. I had to abort. It's a miracle I didn't cause a ripple. Maybe because whoever it was died up there before coming into contact with another human being. But I can't help but think, what if it was Farnstein? Did he live longer than we believe? The station was obliterated. How could he have survived? Or could the stories be true? Might it have been an artificial life form that he created? I can't escape the irony. I went there to learn the truth, and the truth is what forced me away. Maybe this is a sign that some things aren't meant to remain unknown. That some things are meant to remain unknown. Log 9:1, 23:29, 2:23 p.m. I don't know about my luck these days. It happened again. When I got to Giard, there was someone standing right in front of me, looking out over the tower wall. He spun around the second he heard the displacement effect. There wasn't a thing I could do. But before he could even draw his sword, an arrow came over the wall and hit him in the back. Lucky for me, I guess. He would have killed me. Can you imagine the distortion that would have caused? It should have created a huge one as it was. I guess we're just damn lucky the arrow would have hit him anyway. I don't get it. The jump locations are supposed to be scanned with a fine-toothed comb. How could they have not noticed? I'd like to hear their explanation for this one. And then I go to watch Philip Augustus's men climbing up through the garderobe, and when I get there, all I see is the grappling hook they left behind. The whole reason I was sent there was to document how the castle fell, and they got me there too late for it. I know it's difficult to distill accurate information from historical accounts, but this is twice in as many missions. I guess I'm going to have a little talk with the guys in research before I end up materializing in the middle of a Shriners convention. 9/6/23:29, 2:15 p.m. On my last jump, the strange feeling that I've been experiencing during time travel became a little more tangible. I became aware of a faint, almost imperceptible ghost image of my jumpsuit floating slightly out of phase with myself. I assume it's a glitch in the suit's circuitry. The time phase synchronizer is probably malfunctioning. That should worry me, but I'm actually relieved. At least now I know there's nothing wrong with me. I'm going to have Bill run a diagnostics on my suit tomorrow. Now, that's interesting. So we talk about he's been experiencing this kind of like feeling. Coordinates were wrong, and he mentions the cheesy solution. So you could have read this first, and it could have helped, but, this really is the hint. But also in the commercial, you saw that the cheese goal was being propelled by itself, so you could have figured that out, one way or the other. And we already know that it wasn't Farnstein that we were hearing, it was actually Arthur. And then here, again, it's talking about this effect, and then a ghost image. Oh no, this one's talking about the Chateau Gaillard, the grappling hook. But then the ghost image of a jumpsuit. Thinking back to what Will was talking about someone being able to shadow jump me, essentially. Maybe that's what this is. Can't really prove it right now, but maybe it wasn't a ghost image of his jumpsuit. Maybe it was somebody else's jumpsuit. Who knows? Well, I know, but we'll get to that a little bit later. Messing around with the light.
Agent 5, Gage Blackwood, is under house arrest. Access privileges revoked.
That's just an excuse they don't have to put more things for us to watch there. How about this?
You have 3 messages.
So, this is an answering machine of the future, and here's why.
Mr. Blackwood, this is Mark Johnson from Interactive News Network. I'm just calling to see if you'd like a chance to tell your side of the story. Give me a call at Sector 10, 569-82227, and we'll talk about setting up an exclusive interview. I hope to hear from you soon.
That face, like, shaping, always kind of made me feel like, ooh, a little, like, kind of freaked me out a little bit as a kid. Just the forming part. After it's a person, it's fine, but...
Hey, Gage, how you doing? Listen, Oh, shoot, it's your day off. You're probably in Tahiti, as usual. Well, anyway, I was wondering if I could borrow your Environ system. The record button's busted on mine, and I haven't had a chance to get it fixed. And hey, you do me this one favor. I might be willing to forget our bet. Remember? Grab ball last week? Thought you'd get away with it, huh? Not this time, pal. I beat you fair and square. So call me. I'm at home. Thanks. Bye.
I realize now I probably should have upped the volume for those little bits just to make them a little more audible, but I think you'll be able to hear it just enough.
Gage, it's me. Wake up and answer the phone. Hello. I know you're there. Where else could you be? Well, anyway, you owe me, pal. I got your jumpsuit. I just pray they don't realize their key evidence is missing before you figured out what's going on, or we'll both be in neck deep. I mean, it wouldn't take a genius to figure out that I was the only one who could have taken it. But hey, they wouldn't fire me, would they? I'm their chief technician. Who else do they have to get their net games running? I'll send you the suit as soon as I put in an OpMin biochip. If you get a chance, you'll want to modify it to automatically record evidence. And if you need anything else, please hesitate to call me. Oh, and Gage, do me a favor. Erase your messages for a change. Thanks. Good luck, buddy.
So Will was a total bro and helped us out. He got us our suit as well as helped us do the initial work for setting up the evidence biochip. Now, I don't know. I can't remember if there's any way to actually erase any of the messages. I'm going to try once holding the button to see if it does. Does not seem to be doing it. Okay, so we'll just back off of it instead. Okay, so Arthur had nothing to comment on all that, huh? Alright, let's keep looking around the house. Those elements were, that right there was one of the key things that I was intentionally holding off on looking at.
Look, Gage, if you look real close, you can see Elvis diving.
Where? How do I zoom in? I think Arthur's lying to us. You can go up around the back part of this, but there's nothing interesting as far as I recall. Not sure if Arthur will have anything to say. Kind of hard to tell. Is there an actual, like, a glass wall or something there? Is this fully enclosed? Or are we kind of exposed to the air? Feels like we're exposed to the air. I think it's going to replay. It might replay once automatically, or it just might keep playing on its own. You can see the screen even flickers there. I would chalk that up to slight bugginess, maybe with ScumVM. Dude by Bandai. Action figures. It's like the Tasmanian devil.
One question, Gage. Why?
Honestly, that's a fair question. I don't have an answer for you, Arthur. Well, I guess the real answer is because, well, game design. Just put funny things for the player to interact with. So we listened to all the things over there. Can we observe this art? Arthur, got anything to say about this art piece over here?
Hey, now that's nice. Birthday present?
Could be. I personally am not a fan of this kind of art. I want it to actually look like something. Like, that is fine with me, but whatever. Whatever floats your boat. I think that's everything that we can now observe that I can recall. We grabbed our second cheese girl. We do not need to go watch any more of the videos. You've got Arthur here. Let's go ahead and do some more actual exploring. I will go ahead and... I'm trying to think, how long do I want these videos to be? Because of the nature of this game, we'll try to shoot for maybe like 30-minute episodes for regular parts, give or take. We're probably around 20 or so right now. So we've got some time. Let's go ahead and jump to the lab. Now, we could go to the other time zones, but again, I want to go in this order and knock this one out. So we'll just go back to where we were last time. Now, before anything else, let's go ahead and make a save, because I realized I did skip one thing I wanted to show. And for the sake of, I'm going to go ahead and let's tone down the music a bit. It'll kind of quiet that background noise. I want to finish looking at the evidence, or rather the files, the agent dossiers. Because we now know, clearly, somebody else has been here in our things, which means it's got to be one of the other agents, right? It's the only thing that makes sense, because especially if Arthur was saying, hey, you're different, you're a different person, but we looked similar, they thought we were the same person. Makes sense if we're wearing this jumpsuit if the other person he saw was another agent. So, let's look at the agent, the dossier for everyone. So you got the security unit. You've got Gale here. A lot of it's kind of just basic information. I'm going to kind of click through. I'm not going to explicitly read a bunch of it. Again, if you want, you can pause. But just kind of just to get an idea. You can see it lists their things like graduate with honors, training academy, all that. Could be relevant, might not be. But I'm not going to say, because if it truly is one of these agents, I don't want to necessarily spoil who it is. Look at Neil. This is Agent 2. This is one, I believe, the one who did the scan and found out that our time zones were messed up. Got Alan. Lots of flavor text. Could be relevant. Could not be. Who knows? Agent 7. Agent 8. Now, these are all the people who are just part of the actual the security unit. These are not the people who actually go to the time zones. Now, funny enough, again, they've got Greg Euler here. We'll see him in the actual credits, too. I think I'd pointed out in the first game that there was a voice at the apartment messages. I believe that sounded like him, if I recall correctly. Well, here, they just straight up have his picture in here now as Agent 9, which I find to be hilarious. I love it when game designers will put themselves in for things like that, for Easter eggs and pictures and whatnot. It just makes it kind of fun. So, technically, could be any of these agents here. Or, it could be someone from the research unit. Now, there's only 4 of us here. So, we got Michelle, who left us that message about borrowing our environment thing. And she whooped our asses, apparently, in the Grav Ball game, which is it's one of their sport things here. And so, we lost a bet. She's got black belt, graduated, interests. You can see the list of her missions. Oh, see again, the game just must kick it out. It must bug out. It's not supposed to kick out like that. Auschwitz, Hiroshima, terrorist massacres. Wow, that's some heavy stuff that she's had to research for sure. We can see ourselves here. Status pending. If you'll notice, for everyone else, it's status active. For us, we're pending because we're technically we were under house arrest. Graduate with honors. Chose from classic alliteration. Journeyman collectibles. I love that that's part of the interest. Promoted to captain. Our missions, of course. We've already been to the 1. We got Agent 6. Lots of other people graduating, promoted, hired, Greek mythology, history, theater, volleyball. Their missions. Don't know if there's necessarily any cohesiveness to these. Funny enough, they're all 6-1. I literally only just now noticed that. Also, Tahiti. That's funny. That's where we were vacationing when we got arrested. Agent 10. Museums, literature, mysteries, Harvard. Lots of graduates here. Missions, Independence Hall, Berlin, Gorbistan. Varying dates here. I don't know if any of these actually... Well, I'm sure a lot of these actually tie to history. The future ones, though, I mean, they could just make up. But other past ones, they could definitely connect it to actual important dates in history. So there could be some relevance to it. So, one of these agents is probably the culprit. It would be most likely, if we're thinking that someone's been maybe shadow jumping us, that could be the case. Now, reviewing these dossiers, that gave us some more research points. We should have gotten number 6 and 7. So when we actually hit a death screen, we'll be able to confirm if I'm correct about that. Hopefully I am. So with having done that, let's go ahead and save. So I'm going to show off here. With the Cheese Girl, we used it to propel ourselves, but it's a little counterintuitive. The very first time playing it, you might do what I did, which is if you just try to use it like on the station, like I want to get to there. It makes us zip away. So, and we don't get it back. So we're stuck here. So you either have to go buy another Cheese Girl or load the save that you just made. So that's what we're going to do. But I just want to show that off that you can use it incorrectly. Now we are going to hear Arthur talking to us because, again, it's essentially kind of like we reset time, or like we jump back to the same point. So we don't, this is not like Back to the Future, we're going to see our past selves or anything, but as far as we know, this is before we've met Arthur. We're going to go ahead and have Arthur up for any time we have commentary.
Well, somewhere under all that ceiling foam is the door to, well, what used to be the hydroponics module. Nothing special, just your garden variety greenhouse. Garden variety, sorry.
Oh, Arthur.
The doc used to spend a lot of time in here, gardening. It's all automated, of course, so I'm not sure why he bothered, especially the way he set up all kinds of lockout routines to keep me out. I got on his nerves, he said. I have no idea what he meant, but I got the picture anyway that he wanted to be alone. Come on, let's move on.
Oh, that end part sounds really sad. I'm sorry, Arthur.
All right. The passageway has been destroyed, so the only way we're going to get to the biomass processing room is through the asteroid. We're going to have to hurry, though, because it's all in vacuum and your oxygen reserve isn't going to get you very far. We'll have to take the atmosphere mining lift.
Now, he wants us to go do that, but this is totally unnecessary, but I love the extra little bit of flavor that this gives the game.
Ooh, scary.
So Arthur's talking about himself, you know, the get off my station. You won't hear that if you don't actually like go this way again. We're gonna we're gonna go back through the same path that we did before towards Arthur.
This is pathetic. What am I gonna do next? Hold a flashlight under my face?
Even he knows it's kind of ridiculous what he was doing.
You know, it's pretty interesting how this station is constructed. In my time, we still have to worry about the cost of lifting mass out of a gravity well. What do you guys have, like matter transmission or something, right? Anyway, the walls of these connection hallways are basically lightweight Coramid fiber bags, honeycombed with little cells, kind of like bubble pack. They're shipped up folded, then pressurized with an expanding closed-cell foam, which makes them rigid and acts as a self-sealant in case of things like micrometeorite punctures. The The Coromid mesh, they're resilient enough to handle some of the bigger, slower objects. But, well, as you can see for yourself, what happens when it meets Lucifer's hammer.
It's actually a smart design, because, yeah, having things get ruptured and then just the pressure, the air flowing out, like, yeah, that would be a bad time.
Hey, I thought you were anxious to find your distortion ripple. You've already been through here, and the only thing this way is me. And frankly, meeting myself might not be that healthy. You know how they say the things you hate most in others are the things you hate in yourself? Well, this guy's beginning to get on my nerves.
Oh, come on, Arthur. I'm sure it's fine. What's the worst that could happen?
That always seemed to work in Scooby-Doo.
That's me? That's not me.
Oh, Arthur, that's you, all right.
This is the station's power source. All those big Tylenols store the charge collected by the solar sails and distribute them to various parts of the station. I guess I'm looking at my end here. When that blue glow fades, so will I. Or at least one of me. God, I feel like a saved game.
Oh, breaking the fourth wall a little bit there.
Look, you're running out of oxygen, and the only way to recharge here means blocking off the way to get to my sculptures. I don't know why you're wasting your time here. Most of your oxygen supply is depleted, so you're gonna have to jump back to where we arrived again.
Well, that's exactly why I'm doing this, because to hear you say this, Arthur.
So, I guess I haven't gotten rid of you after all. You just pop up in different spots, like whatever pops up in different spots. So, was corrupting my work not enough? Back to finish the job? What?
Gage, be honest with me. Does my voice really sound that dorky? And I thought I was being rescued. I'm breathing my last breaths here, and I get visited by Guido, the space vandal. Come all this way to tamper with my sculptures. What are you, an art critic?
Now, Arthur was saying that we only have, if we go this way, we won't be able to go basically the other way because we only get one pressurized. Once we chose this one, we cannot pressurize this one anymore. Insufficient oxygen reserves. So if you mess up, you have to just leave and come back or reload your save.
So, what do? Travel around space looking for derelict crafts you can terrorize the survivors by redecorating while they're helpless? What'd you do? Bring a spray can too?
Notice we did not have to grab the metal bar again because we still have the item in our inventory. So I know it kind of doesn't fully make sense, but it won't be there again. So it wasn't blocking the doorway. I didn't have to do it like I did the first time.
Okay, this is the docking bay. The hex pads, as Mom keeps reminding us, are localized gravity repulsors that allow us to move cargo around the hold. I'm sure you had fun in here the first time, but this is really not the time to play Twister.
I love Twister. Actually, I haven't played Twister in years. I'd probably hurt myself. Also, I went the wrong way. Arthur, you distracted me. No. Arthur, help. I'm stuck. Never mind, we're good.
You seem different somehow. Unlike before, your patterns, you're more curious, like you don't really know what you're doing here, do you? You're not the same intruder.
I wonder why that doesn't let me go. Suppose I could skip it. I might skip it.
So, why are you here?
Alright, I'm gonna press escape. I'm just gonna skip the text because we have, or the voice rather, we have heard that. I will occasionally skip some things if it's just a waste of time. If we've already done it.
I don't know why I feel this, but I guess I have an instinct about you. My other guest didn't feel right. You're different somehow. Like I should trust you.
I wasn't sure if I skipped that yet because Arthur's gonna make another comment in a sec here.
Have you been listening to me or what? I'm trying to help you out here. If we go into that room, I'm gonna end up meeting myself, and I don't know how I'll take it. The other me. Oh, you know what I mean. At the least, it'll end up affecting one of my sculptures, and then you'll have more than a ripple on your hands. So, for your own good, if you don't jump us out of here, I will.
Whoa. Calm down there, Arthur. So basically, we're gonna create a Back to the Future situation. We're gonna mess up history, and we're gonna take ourselves out of the timeline. We're just no longer gonna exist anymore. So we actually can't even navigate anywhere else. So we have no choice but to click here. But when you do, Arthur auto recalls you back home. Which is kind of funny that he actually has control of being able to do that. So that's as far as you can get. You can't actually get into the room where Arthur was because it actually really would then create a distortion wave or whatever. And then we would also get caught because then they would be tracking that and see like, hey, something's going on, and then we would get busted. So that was just for flavor to see the extra bits with Arthur up to where he auto recalls us. And with that, we'll go ahead and call this apart here. In the next video, we will go ahead and go back to Farnston's lab again. We're going to load the save where we made back on the ship, and we'll actually solve it for real this time. We'll go the way that we're supposed to now that we have Arthur. So, I'll see you then.